Millions of cards have been graded by PSA and BGS and SGC, CSG, etc. over the last few years. And so what cards are low pop? We hear that all the time, low population on the pop reports. What does it mean? Are there opportunities? I'm going to talk about some of my thinking behind this.
Silence, you fuddy fool! I've had it with your whining and bumbling.
Stick around. Hello to all my sports card collectors, investors, all of my collectibles friends. My hair is doing a little something because I've been pulling my hair out after my New Orleans Saints completely blew a 13 or 14 point lead in the fourth quarter with about 3 minutes left. And that really has summed up our season. It's okay. We weren't going to win the Super Bowl this year anyway. It is what it is. We're in somewhat of a rebuild and we've got no identity and everything's just going wrong. And you know what? That is what football fandom is all about. I've been a Saints fan since 1987, and I'm not quitting now. Guys, if you're new here, you're looking for card, collectible style content every single day, just about, then you have come to the right place. Hit the subscribe button. Stay here. Stay a while. Grab a chair. Also connect with me on IG at SportsCardDad, and I'm also on Twitter, the SportsCardDad. Big shout out to today's video sponsor, ComC.com, your home for buying, selling, and flipping all the hottest trading cards. Their consignment marketplace now home to over 30 million cards from baseball superstars like Aaron Judge to Marvel favorites like Spider-Man. ComC has something for every type of collector. Make sure to visit ComC.com today to build your collection with your favorite cards. All right, guys, if you follow my channel, you know I'm a huge New Orleans Saints fan and a football card collector. Really, the two guys I probably buy the most of are Drew Brees and Tom Brady. Isn't that kind of ironic after last night's game? I do not own any Tom Brady cards in Bucs uniforms, and I never will. So that is where I draw the line. But Tom Brady is the GOAT. There's no doubt about it. So when it comes to football cards, you got to respect the GOAT. I look at Tom Brady as really kind of Michael Jordan in the late 90s right now. And I know that a lot of his cards have shot up and they're very expensive and this and that. But I guess what I'm saying is from a legacy standpoint, we won't fully appreciate a Tom Brady until 10, 15, 20 years down the line. And that's kind of similar to where we were with Michael Jordan. And so this is why I really focus in on Brady. I don't like him playing on the Bucs, but I do respect his career. And I honestly don't think a career like his will ever happen again. I think people might get close. It's going to be a lot of fun, athletic quarterbacks to watch, but just to be able to pile up these accolades. And look, football is the ultimate team sport. And so it's not just him. You get lucky with great defenses, with great schedules, with kind of some things have to fall in line too. You can't just win 7 Super Bowls because you're just amazing out there. You need all these guys kind of doing great work. But Brady's been the guy to pull it off over the last 20 years, so you got to give him credit. All right, so we're going to use a couple cards that I've got as examples. I'm just going to kind of talk through what I mean here by the low pop stuff. So I know, again, if you've been watching my channel, I've been focused for these guys on 2012 Prism through 2018 Prism products, mainly Prism and Select, but then also Topps Chrome as well. I'm just going to bring out the Prism examples, and I've got an optic example actually too, just to kind of talk through this. So as we've said, look, there's been millions and millions of cards. We talked about it just the other day. We did the monthly grading report. PSA did another million cards. SGC did 70,000. BGS did 50,000. CSG did 100,000 between both sides. Like, there is a lot of graded cards coming out. What would be really helpful is a universal pop report. I know that's kind of what everyone's been saying that forever, and it is certainly something that we do need. But PSA has graded the most cards by far over the last 30 years, and so we'll kind of just work on that first. And so examples of the Prism products, I've got 2 Brady's here. 2015, I really love the 2015 and 16 Prism products. I like the look of them, the design and everything. So I've got a silver Prism PSA 10 here, and then I've also got the blue Wave, which is numbered out of 150 or 149, 150. And when you look at the pop reports, the thing I'm paying attention to is with a lot of mass-produced cards, 1990 Marvel Universe is an example. I wanted these cards in PSA 10 or SGC 10, but if you go back 6 months, and you go back a year, pop the pop was very low on these cards, and a lot of it was just because it's stuck in the backlog. There was no shortage of these cards printed, and not to say the gem rate is super high. It's not to say that there's tons of PSA 10s of that stuff, but even just to jump from, 20 PSA 10s to 200 PSA 10s is a massive difference as far as supply that's out there to buy, and then of course price point. So, that's what I've been kind of waiting for. And actually with a lot of those cards, I've been bidding, but kind of lowballing, trying to get in, but I'm probably just going to wait until summer. I'm not in a huge hurry because those pop reports probably continue to grow. Not crazy. I don't think there's ever going to be 10,000 PSA 10 Wolverine 1990 Marvel MU. I don't think that there ever will be because look, a lot of people trashed them. They are junk wax, but there's just not that many that are centered well and in great shape. And so for the Prism products, what's kind of interesting is I look at Brady, I look at Breeze. The other example I've got here is 2016 Optic. This is the black numbered out of 25 PSA 10. And this is a card that actually was very expensive. Recent sales on this were at $380 and $280. I got this one for $200 last week. So kind of on the lower end. And then I also found a raw copy I actually just bought because I love the card for $90. So I don't know how that one is going to grade out at all, but I just love this card. And I was thinking, man, it would be cool to have two. There's only 25. And I like kind of the color match of the gold. The gold and the black breezes are awesome, but man, like the Prism golds, shout out to Drake, DC, Drake's PC on IG. He's also a big Breeze collector. Peyton Manning, Breeze wrestling cards, but he does have gold Prisms at Breeze. And man, I would love to have them, but they're 5-figure cards. So haven't gotten into any of the gold Prisms yet, but this is kind of more in line with where I would be. This is a $200 card. It's got rarity to it. It's first year Optic. So pretty cool. Now, when you look at the population for these, and again, we've just had millions of cards graded, still a relatively low population, but it's all relative, really. It's kind of like how much demand is there for this card in particular. I got this card for $200, which again, kind of at a low point. It's come down. It's been more expensive for sure. So as prices have come down on cards, these are the types of things I've been looking into. I know there's a lot of people that are more rookie card collectors, and they'll say like, why would you put $200 into 15th year Tom Brady silver Prisms as opposed to getting a rookie card? And really my answer is kind of similar to why people get the LeBron James stuff. LeBron James has got a ton of rookie cards too, but you'll see a lot of people buy 2014 Prism silver LeBron James and pay a premium for that card. I just really like the look of the products. And then I also do think that Prism over time is going to just kind of have a nostalgic effect to it. I think that a lot of people opened it. It's a very popular product. Whether Panini continues on or not after the whole Fanatics stuff takes over, I still think that these products, regardless of the player, I think that the player is kind of on you, whichever player you want to collect and so forth. But I think 20 years from now, that 2012 to 2018 or 20 or whichever ones you like, for me, it ends at 18 because I think once you go past 18, then print runs start to get a little hectic. And so, you got a ton of different parallels. You have a lot of parallels in the 15 set, but it does not compare to 2021 product. It's just not in the same world. So, but you have to look at this. And I think that that's something that I think is very interesting is, population on a lot of stuff is still fairly low. There was a card too that sold recently. I think that it was Collectibles Guru that posted about it, and it's the 2018 Prism Silver Tom Brady. And it at one point sold for like $25,000. And people were like, man, why did it sell for so much? And basically they were saying is like they're short printed. They believe them to be short printed. And now I think there's maybe like 30 or 40 PSA 10s. I'd have to take a look at it. Anyway, there's not tons of graded options, but there's enough to where, is it a $25,000 card? Probably not. There was a recent sale at like $1,400 for that 2018 Prism Silver, which again, I love that set, that 2018 Prism Silver. I've got a Luka Doncic rookie in that set. I love the look of that Prism set. One thing to be mindful of though too, if we're comparing this, and we're talking long-term plays here, if we're comparing to vintage, a lot of times what you'll see is, let's just go back to, 80s cards or whatever. You'll have, 1,000 PSA 9s, but you'll have 40 PSA 10s. There's very low. Once you get to like that 10, there's a huge premium paid, sometimes 10x, what a 9 would be or more, because there's just so few of the PSA 10s. What's different here though is, so this card is numbered to 25. On the PSA Pop Report, there are only 3 graded cards. and they're all PSA 10s. So there's no 9s or 8s or 7, so that's what's kind of interesting. And that tells me that I probably need to go ahead and get a 10 if I'm going to get one, because this is a 2016. This is a 6-year-old card, so the idea that there's going to be a huge premium because it's a 10, because there's a lot of 8s and 9s out there for more ultra modern cards, probably not. That's where I think getting the 10 probably makes sense for me anyway, because I don't know if the 8 or the 9 would necessarily hold up. I guess it depends on the price point. And it's kind of similar with these silver prisms. I believe there's just as many 9s as there are 10s. And so the gem rate a lot higher on these. So the population a lot lower. It's still a low population. If you think about, I guess that's the thing that kind of surprises me, millions and millions of cards that continue to be graded, and there's still not a lot of these on the population report, which is surprising when this is Tom Brady. This is the Michael Jordan of football, essentially. And there's still not a lot. And so as I see prices start to kind of come down on those, for me, that's a target. And then Breeze is my PC guy because I'm a Saints fan. But I would like to hear kind of your thoughts too. Not necessarily these players. Everyone's going to have their own players. A lot of people are going to have basketball. Maybe they are targeting certain basketball or baseball players, and so what are your thoughts here as far as, population and low pop? Because there are a lot of parallels of stuff, but there's still not a lot of graded population of these. And will there ever be, especially when you have cards that are numbered out of 25 or 50 or 100, that's kind of an interesting thing. And I guess that's going to be a case study for me to look at as I look back 10 years from now, 15, 20 years. Because for a lot of these, I want to just sit on them and just kind of see what happens over time. All right, guys, thank you very much for joining me here today. I think this is kind of just a fun, open up the discussion type deal. Let me know what you're doing. Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.